Students, welcome to online classes of biology. So in the previous live class we have learned about the formation of urine, isn't it? Through different steps like glomerular filtration, then tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. And also we have seen what are the functions of the different parts of the tubules, like proximal convoluted tubule, isn't it? This is the proximal convoluted tubule. And maximum absorption, isn't it? Maximum absorption of water and other nutrients takes place through this part. Okay, that is around 70 to 80% of electrolytes, water, etc. are also absorbed by this part. Okay, and it also helps in maintaining the pH and ionic balance, okay, of the body by selective secretion of hydrogen ions, ammonia and potassium ions, and by absorption of bicarbonate. Okay, so in this way only proximal convoluted tubule what takes part in the formation of urine. Then Henle's loop. Henle's loop, you know, this is having a descending limb, isn't it? Means which is means where the flow of fluid is towards the downside, and from here the flow of fluid is upward. So this is known as the ascending limb, and this is known as the descending limb, isn't it? Descending limb and ascending limb. So in the ascending limb, okay, sorry, in the descending limb, okay, it is permeable to water but impermeable to electrolytes. So what will happen as the glomerular filtrate comes down, okay, what will happen? It will become more concentrated. Water will go out, okay, and it will not allow any molecules to come in. So what will happen? It will concentrate the filtrate as it comes down. Okay, now as it goes up, okay, through the ascending limb, this is the ascending limb. Through this, when it goes up, okay, just opposite is there, that is here it is the ascending limb, it is impermeable to water but allows the electrolytes to come, okay, actively or passively. So that what will happen as this moves up, okay, as this is moving up, what will happen? It will become more concentrated, okay, more concentrated. Now what is left now? This is distal convoluted tubule, isn't it? Distal convoluted tubule. So in the distal convoluted tubule, what is happening is conditional reabsorption of sodium and water, okay, and it can also reabsorb bicarbonate, and it can secrete selectively hydrogen and potassium ions, okay, and also ammonium. So that what happened? The pH and sodium potassium level in the blood will be maintained. Okay, so these are the functions of different parts of the tubular part. Now what is the function of collecting duct? Collecting duct, it helps to get the secretions, okay, means the urea from different nephrons, isn't it? One single collecting duct can collect the urine from different different parts of the nephrons, okay, different parts of the different nephrons can pour urine to a single collecting duct. This collecting duct is seen where? That is from the cortex of the kidney to the medulla, isn't it? So large amount of water can be reabsorbed, okay, so that what happens? The urine can be more concentrated, okay. Then it also allows the passage of, you can see here, little bit urea to the urea to the medullary interstitium, so that it can maintain the osmolarity. Why it is important to maintain the osmolarity? Because of that only this tubular reabsorption and secretion can takes place, okay, and it also plays an important role in what? Maintenance of pH and ionic balance of the body, and selective secretion of H plus ion and K plus ions, okay. So likewise different parts of the what the nephron. They play important role in what the maintenance of ionic balance of the body. Okay, and also in the formation of urine. Now we are going to study another topic, that is mechanism of concentration of the filtrate. That is when when the what the glomerulus, when blood passes through the glomerulus, okay, we will get what glomerular filtrate here, but that is not the urine, isn't it? And as it moves through this way through the distal convoluted tubule, and when it reaches here it becomes the urine. Understood? So two mechanisms, okay, that is two things are very important for maintaining or concentrating the urine. Okay, the glomerular filtrate formed is 180 liter per day, but okay, a normal person can produce only 1.5 liter urine per day. Understood? So how this what urine, okay, is getting concentrated, this depends upon two things. That is, one is the what this proximity, that is the Henle's loop and vasa recta, okay, they are placed very close to each other. Okay, and the flow filtrate in these two limbs of Henle's loop in opposite direction, and likewise it forms a counter current. That is, the flow of fluid from Henle's loop is in this way, okay, downwards, and then from here to upward. Understood? So in this limb it is downward, and in this limb it is upward. But in vasa recta, just opposite. Okay, the part which is near to this descending limb is this, isn't it? And in this vasa recta will have the flow in the opposite direction. You can see this. Understood? And the one which is near to this region, the vasa recta part which is in this region, will have the flow in this direction. Means the flow of fluid in this and in the vasa recta will be in the opposite direction. So this is known as the counter current pattern. The flow of blood through the two limbs of vasa recta is also in a counter current pattern. Understood? So the proximity between the Henle's loop and vasa recta and the counter current, you understood, the flow of what fluids in the Henle's loop and in the vasa recta is in opposite direction. Okay, so they help in what maintaining and increasing osmolarity towards the inner medullary interstitium, that is from 300 okay milliosmoliter okay in the cortex to just 1200 okay in the inner medulla. So this gradient means what? Difference, okay, is very important, and is made or maintained by sodium chloride and urea. Okay, sodium chloride is transported by ascending limb of Henle's loop, and that will be exchanged with what descending limb of vasa recta. Okay, and then NaCl will return back to the interstitium by ascending portion of the vasa recta. Understood? And likewise urea, okay, urea enter the thin segment of the ascending limb of Henle's loop, okay, and it will be transported back to the interstitium by the collecting tubule. So the above described transport of substances, okay, is facilitated by the special arrangement of the vasa recta and the Henle's loop. This is known as the counter current mechanism, and this is helping in maintaining what? The concentration gradient means difference, okay, in the interstitial medullary interstitium, and this helps in the passage of water from the collecting tubule, okay, and thereby concentrating the filtrate. Okay, so in this way only what the urine is produced. So what is counter current? That is the flow of okay filtrate in the two limbs of the Henle's loop is in opposite direction, and the flow of blood through the two limbs of vasa recta is also in the counter current pattern. Okay, so this proximity means as they are placed very close to each other. Okay, which one? Henley's loop and vasa recta. And also the counter current, what in the this, okay, in this vasa recta and in the what the Henley's loop, they help in increasing the osmolarity between means in the inner what medullary interstitium. That is, you can see here from 300 to what, to around 12,000. Okay, sorry, 1,200. Okay, that much difference gradients can be produced, and this gradient is caused by what? Sodium chloride and urea. Understood? And sodium chloride, how it is happening? Sodium chloride is transported means by the ascending, the sodium chloride is first, okay, transported by the ascending limb of Henle's loop, and then it will be exchanged with the descending limb of vasa recta. Okay, and then sodium chloride is returned back to the interstitium by the ascending part of the vasa recta. And likewise, a small amount of urea from where? From the collecting duct, it will go to the thin section of the ascending limb of Henle's loop, and it will be transported back to the interstitium by the collecting tubule. Okay, so like this. Okay, it helps to maintain a gradients. Okay, the osmolarity gradient is created, and this is very important for what? The passage of water from collecting tubule, and this helps to concentrate the urine. Okay, now we are going to study about the regulation of kidney function. Okay, so how this kidney function is controlled? So we have already just I have mentioned the JGA. Okay, JGA, which is producing renin. I told in the live class. Okay, and then what? The feedback mechanism. Okay, of the hypothalamus gland. Okay, and then the heart. This three, okay, parts, or this by this three ways the kidney function is regulated. Okay, so let's first see the what? ADH. So if there is any change in the blood volume, okay, means blood volume or body fluid volume, ionic concentration, etc., can be sensed by the osmoreceptors, okay, which can sense it. And then an excessive loss of fluid, okay, from the body, if the volume of the blood is less, or if more water is lost, then it can activate the receptors, and this receptors will stimulate the hypothalamus, you know, it's a gland, and it produces a hormone called ADH. We will study this in detail in the last chapter. Okay, ADH or vasopressin and vasopressin or ADH, same only. Okay, both are same, and this facilitate water absorption, reabsorption. More water will be reabsorbed. Okay, so an increase in fluid, okay, will switch off the osmoreceptors. Osmoreceptors will no more give a message for the pituitary gland to produce ADH. Okay, then what will happen? So ADH, if it is not there, what will happen? It will what will not give message for the reabsorption, thereby the amount of urine produced will be less. Okay, so depends upon, if it is more, if it is less, what will happen? ADH will produce, and it will give message. ADH will give message for reabsorption of water. If ADH is if more water is there, then no osmoreceptors, means osmoreceptors will not give message for the production of ADH, and if ADH is not there, what will happen? It will not, okay, would give message for the reabsorption of water. Likewise, okay, then ADH, how it works? It actually it can have the constrictory effect. Means what? It can give message for the blood vessels to get constrict, So what will happen? It will increase the blood pressure. If increased blood pressure is there, the glomerular filtrate volume also will increase. Understood? And thereby more urine will be produced. Understood? So in this way only. If ADH is there, then more more constriction will be there. Okay, by constrictory effect. Okay, this can increase the blood pressure and thereby it can increase the glomerular filtrate and thereby the urine. So hope it is very clear. That is, if excessive loss of fluid is there, less, okay, fluid is there, then more water has to be absorbed, isn't it? So ADH will be produced. Understood? And then ADH facilitates what? Water reabsorption. And if the body fluid is more, then what will happen? Osmoreceptors will be switched off and then no ADH will be produced. Okay. So, in this way, what the urine production will be controlled. Okay. How it controls? By ADH can function by allowing the blood vessels to constrict. When blood vessels constrict, what will happen? It will reduce what? The means it will increase the glomerular filtrate and thereby more urine. Then another mechanism is what? JGA. We have already seen that in the live class, isn't it? So if there is a fall in glomerular blood flow, what will happen? The JFR, okay, means the fall in glomerular blood flow or glomerular blood pressure or GFR, they activate what? JG cells and they produce what? Renin. And listen very carefully, renin will convert angiotensinogen, it's a compound in the blood, to get converted to angiotensin 1 and then to angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 is what? A vasoconstrictor. Vasoconstrictor means which help the blood vessels to constrict or to shrink. And this increases what? Glomerular blood pressure and GFR will be increased. Okay. So this is one way how the JG plays. We have learned the JGA where it is. Okay. And I told you if there is fall in glomerular filtration rate, then what will happen? JGA produces renin. Renin, how it is acting, I told you, I will explain in the video. Okay, so how it is acting? Because renin helps to convert a protein. What is the name of the protein? Angiotensinogen. Okay, that will be converted first into angiotensin 1 and then to angiotensin 2. So, angiotensinogen is there in the blood. That will get converted to angiotensin 1 in the presence of what? A hormone called renin. And then angiotensin 1 will be converted to angiotensin 2. And angiotensin 2 is a vasoconstrictor. And that what increase vasoconstrictor means it increases the blood pressure and thereby what happen? More JFR will be produced. Okay, then one more method is there, that also angiotensin 2 can activate the adrenal cortex to release one hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone increases the reabsorption of sodium and water from the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, and this increases in blood pressure and thereby also GFR will be increased. Okay, so this is known as renin angiotensin mechanism. Understood? So renin angiotensin mechanism also controls what? The amount of urine produced or the amount of glomerular filtrate formed. Understood? So how it is? You understood? Angiotensin 2 will be produced. Either it functions as a vasoconstrictor and it can also stimulate adrenal cortex to release what? The aldosterone hormone, and that causes what? Reabsorption of sodium and water, and this leads to the what? Increase. Okay, this leads to the increase in blood pressure and GFR. Then another important factor, that is, if there is increased blood flow in the heart, that can cause atrial natriuretic factor ANF. Okay, and this is a vasodilation Causing vasodilation means what? Increasing the what? The means blood vessels will be dilated, and this decrease the blood pressure, and it acts as a check on the renin angiotensin mechanism. What renin angiotensin mechanism does? Actually it constrict the blood vessels, and this is acting as a check on the renin angiotensin mechanism. Okay, so these are the ways by which kidney function is regulated. Okay, one is by ADH hormone. Okay, then second is by JGA, and third is by atrial natriuretic factor, ANF. Actually it is what the release of this happens where in the atria of the heart. Okay, due to increase in blood flow in the atria. Understood? So this three mechanisms helps to control the what the kidney function. Now next topic is micturation. Okay, so that urine formed, where urine is formed, urea is formed in the liver, I told you already, and it will be brought to the kidney by blood, and in the blood what from the blood this urea will be separated and will be formed as urine in the kidney. Now this will be collected by where? Collected in where? In the urinary bladder. Okay, and until a voluntary signal is given, okay, it will be collected in the urinary bladder, isn't it? And the signal, who gives the signal to start the process of micturition? It is by the stretching of the urinary bladder when it is filled with urine. Okay, a signal will be initiated, and this will be, okay, sent to the CNS, central nervous system, and then CNS passes this message, okay, to the motor, means to the motor messages will be sent to the walls of the urinary bladder, and then what happen? It will result in the relaxation of the urethral sphincter, and results in the release of urine. Okay, so this process of release of urine is called micturition. Okay, and the neural mechanism, that is when the urinary bladder is filled with urine, okay, a message will be sent to the CNS, and from CNS a motor through motor neuron, okay, the message will be sent back to the walls of the urinary bladder. All this is known as the micturition reflex. Understood? Neural mechanisms causing the micturition is called the micturition what reflex. Okay, and an adult, okay, produces an average of 1 to 1.5 liters of urine per day. Okay, so if urine contains what? Urine contains mainly what? Urea, isn't it? And it is having it is slightly acidic, and it has a characteristic odor, and around 25 to 30 grams of urea is excreted per day. Okay, and we know many clinical conditions are can be understood by the examination of urine, isn't it? If you get any disease, your doctor may ask you to do a urine test. Okay, so it also gives what? The information about your functioning of the kidney also, isn't it? So if glucose is there in the urine, then it is known as glycosuria. Okay, and ketone bodies if there is in the urine, then it is known as ketonuria. Okay, and this indicates what? The presence of a disease called diabetes mellitus. Okay, so the common diabetes is diabetes mellitus. There is one more diabetes that we will be studying in the last chapter. Understood? So about this all you understood. So in other than kidneys, any other what organs are there which is helping in the elimination of excretory waste? Yes, our lungs, isn't it? Lungs can excrete what? Carbon dioxide, isn't it? Then water, etc. Liver, okay, liver also excrete what? Various substances like what means it excrete what? Bile, which contains what? Bilirubin, biliverdin, cholesterol, degraded steroid hormones, vitamins, drugs. Okay, so all this waste materials are excreted by liver. Liver is also one excretory organ itself, and the waste will be going, the waste excreted by liver is going out through the fecal matters only. Okay, through the digestive waste. Then sweat and sebaceous glands. Sweat produces what? Sodium chloride, okay, urea, lactic acid, etc. can be a small amount, okay, of all this can be excreted by the sweat gland. Okay, then uh, sebaceous glands, okay, they help to eliminate sterols, hydrocarbons, waxes, etc. through the sebum. Understood? So all these are what? The excretory organs itself. Okay, so in addition to the kidney, there are some other excretory organs in our body. Okay, then what are the disorders of excretory system? That is uremia, accumulation of urea in the blood. Okay, so this happens when the kidneys are not functioning. Understood? So in that kind of patients we can do hemodialysis. What is that? The blood will be taken out from the patient, and then it will be sent through the dialysing unit, okay, called what? Artificial kidney. And in that the waste materials are, okay, removed. Understood? After, means the blood will be also treated with some anticoagulants like heparin, and then what? This blood will be passed through the dialysing unit, okay, that contains a dialysing fluid in which some semi semi type of what cellophane tubes, okay, will be immersed in that. Through this cellophane tubes the blood will be passed. Okay, so as the blood passes through the what the type of cellophane tubes which are semi permeable. Okay, cellophane tubes are semi permeables. Okay, so according to the concentration gradient, okay, as the cellophane tubes are placed in a fluid, dialysing fluid, which is having the same osmolarity as the blood plasma. Okay, so nitrogenous waste will be just moving out. Understood? And clear the blood, and this cleared blood will be pumped back to the body. Okay, so this is what? Artificial kidney or hemodialysis. Okay, then have you heard about kidney transplantation? That is, in case of renal failures, kidney failures, a functioning kidney can be transplanted from a donor. Okay, so there can be what? Chances of rejection of the transplanted organ from the by the immune system. So we have to take some what? Kidneys from close relatives so that rejection can be reduced. Okay, so then renal canaliculi, presence of stones, okay, due to the, means some salts will form due to oxalates, carbonates, etc. So that condition is known as renal canaliculi. In common term we call it as what? Stones. Okay, then glomerulonephritis, inflammation of glomerulus of kidney. Okay, so all these are what? Some of the disorders of kidney. Understood? So I think this chapter is very clear. So in this we have learned about the in this video we have learned about the mechanism of counter current system, okay, which help in the concentrating the glomerular filtrate. Okay, then we learned about regulation of kidney function. So in three ways. One is by the ADH, okay, antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin. I told, if excessive loss of fluid is there, that is less body fluid is there, then what will happen? It will stimulate the hypothalamus to release antidiuretic hormone, and antidiuretic hormone helps to reabsorb, means which will not allow the water to get lost from the body, so that what can happen? Means enough water can be maintained. An increase in the body fluid can switch off the osmoreceptors, and that what suppresses the release of ADH. Understood? So ADH, how they function? By constricting the blood vessels, okay, so that the blood pressure can be increased and thereby glomerular filtrate can be increased. Okay, so this is the one of the method. Then another method is what? JGA. Okay, juxtaglomerular apparatus. Okay, they produce what? A hormone called renin, and that converts angiotensinogen present in the blood to angiotensin 1 and then to 2. Angiotensinogen 2, how they help? They increase, okay, the blood pressure by, as it is a vasoconstrictor. Then it also helps to activate what? The adrenal cortex to release aldosterone, so in that way also. Understood? Then atrial natriuretic factor, that is produced by the heart. Okay, then that is if the blood flow is more to the atria, and that causes the vasodilation, and it is just opposite to what? Renin angiotensin mechanism. So all these portions are very clear, I think. You can go through this. We'll have the next class and the next chapter. Thank you.